Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Under Armour Speedform CRM in the limited edition Breast Cancer Awareness Power in Pink colorway. Now inside the box, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. So let me get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at what is a very unique colorway of the Under Armour Speedform CRM. So in today's video, we are of course going to take a closer look at the colorway itself. We're going to talk tech specs, performance, take a look at the weight of the shoe, as well as see how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you are interested in learning more about this particular colorway of the Under Armour Speedform, please stick around, watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, you can check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $220 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now, of course, this being a breast cancer awareness color, it does feature pink on the majority of the upper. And the actual shade of pink they've used here is really nice. Normally, pink shoes are a little bit over the top. They tend to use like a neon pink color. Whereas with this particular shoe, you can see it's a kind of deeper, slightly darker pink color that I think just looks really, really good. And it's cool because you have this graphic that I'm not sure how you would describe it, but it definitely does look cool printed on the surface of the upper, and it's on top of what is a dark navy blue kind of base that actually has a matte finish, whereas the pink graphic has kind of like a semi-gloss look. So it's really, really cool, and it really allows that graphic to pop off the surface of the upper. So really interesting look. Again, not a fan of pink shoes, but I think these look absolutely amazing in person. As far as other elements of the colorway, you're of course going to find your Under Armour branding in white, same with your Speedform logo there on both the lateral and medial side of the shoe. The laces that they come with are navy blue in color. Of course, the liner on the inside is neon yellow like you're gonna find on all of the Speedform CRM shoes. And then the sole plate as well as the heel counter is a white color. So looks really good right now. Won't look so good after a few wears because obviously the white is going to show scratches pretty much permanently and is going to stain pretty significantly as well. So it won't look white for too long, but out of the box, I definitely think that the combination of dark navy blue, a nice pink color, and then of course the white as an accent just looks really, really sharp. Let me know your opinions on it down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, not only is the Under Armour Speedform a very, very capable high-end shoe that performs the part, it's also very unique in terms of the type of feel that it provides. And if you want to talk about underrated soccer brands at the moment, Under Armour is it. So with the Speedform CRM, you're going to get their Speedform upper, which is a thinner synthetic material. This particular upper variation in this colorway is different from the initial colors that we saw from the Speedform. This is more like the camo colorway that I showed on the channel not too long ago, in that the upper has more of kind of a matte finish to it that just feels softer than the standard colorways of the Speedform, which have kind of a little more rigidity to them due to that top layer of synthetic. This doesn't have that, so it feels very soft, very flexible from right out of the box. As you guys can see by the side profile of the synthetic, it's thin, but it's not too thin. It's certainly not along the lines of what you're going to get from a Vapor 10. It's a little bit thicker than that. So it's thin, providing a barefoot feel on the ball, but that little bit of thickness just takes the edge off to a certain extent. So again, if you want that thin feel, but something that's not overly thin, that's kind of what this is going to provide. It reminds me a little bit of the Messi 15.1 in that regard, but maybe not as thick as those, if that makes any sense. As far as the finish on the upper is concerned, it's a mostly slick finish. It does have this kind of matte texturing that gives it just a slight amount of grittiness to the touch, but overall the amount of grip you get on the ball is pretty minimal. There's just enough there to where the ball doesn't feel like it's sliding off your foot or anything like that. It does have this cool kind of indentation look right here, kind of mimicking where your toes would actually be positioned inside of the shoe. That really doesn't impact performance at all, and you really don't notice it while you're playing either. So just keep that in mind. Laces run through the middle of the shoe, as you guys can see. The upper is very well supported and well structured. So when you put the shoe on your feet, you're immediately going to notice that you're locked in and just it has a nice solid feel. There's no rollover, there's no movement in the upper, and that's obviously a very important element when you're talking about a thin synthetic tight fitting shoe. As far as the heel area is concerned, it does have a lower cut, as you guys can see, external plastic heel counter. And then on the inside, that's where things get particularly unique with this particular shoe. It features no insole, it's all one piece. So it has this seamless design where the heel liner basically flows into the bottom of the shoe, acting as an insole. And as you guys can see, there's no exposed stitching. There are different materials though. You have mesh going down the back of the heel and then across the bottom of the foot. And then of course, kind of the synthetic suede material lining the sides of the shoe, which all feels very, very good against your foot. Because of this lack of insole, a lot of people may view that as a negative thing, but the way they've done this on this particular shoe just feels really, really good. The actual mesh material itself is soft, really does feel comfortable. There's a nice amount of padding back there as well. And you might expect it to be a little bit slippery, but that is actually not the case, which is a very positive thing. Another little element that I like is they incorporated this kind of very slight rubber grip material going along the edge here from kind of the top lace hole all the way around the back of the heel and then ending at the other lace hole on the other side, as you guys can hopefully see. That little bit of grip texturing really does a good job of kind of gripping your sock and just helping your heel to stay in place quite nicely. So again, heel slippage isn't an issue here, despite how the actual lining might look, being that it is kind of a more slick material, but like I said, no issues there. And then the heel liner just flows into what would normally be the insole, and what's there is instead this very soft padded material that looks like it would be very, very cushioned, and it is when you first put your foot inside, but obviously once you stand up, all of that cushioning kind of compresses flat, and since your foot's not moving around, it stays compressed, but it's still enough underfoot cushioning to where you're not going to experience any issues with discomfort, any kind of stud pressure. It just feels very good, and because of this kind of one-piece design, you feel like you're very connected to the shoe. You're very planted inside the shoe, if that makes any sense. There's nothing to move around under your feet. It's different. It's a different sensation than just a glued-in insole. It feels like I said, you're kind of sitting directly on top of that sole plate. There's a very close connection, which gives this sense of stability, and like I said, just a really strong connection between your foot and the actual shoe. It's something that feels unlike anything else out there on the market. Not a lot of underfoot cushioning, but like I said, a really interesting sensation that I'm personally a really big fan of. So if that sounds good to you, the Speedform CRM is really the only shoe that offers that type of feel. Moving on to the sole plate, it is a Pebax construction and it has some decent thickness to it. Because of that thickness, it does have some pretty decent flexibility in the actual forefoot because of a flex groove right here. It thins out in between these two studs, and then it is nice and solid through the midfoot, so no kind of lack of rigidity there, which is really nice. And as far as the stud pattern is concerned, it's a bladed stud pattern that has kind of rounded edges to it, as you guys can see. Works really well, provides really good traction in terms of just bite in pretty much all directions, and because of the rounded edges, you still have that freedom to kind of twist and pivot when you're planted. You never feel like you're locked into the ground. So in terms of traction on natural grass playing surfaces, no issues here whatsoever, and the overall performance of this shoe, like I said, is very, very good. It's an underrated model, it's an underrated brand, and again, if you're looking for a top-end thin synthetic shoe that most people aren't going to have, but of course you still want something good, the Under Armour Speedform CRM is definitely worth a look. In terms of weight, the Speedform CRM is pretty light. To see exactly how light, I'm going to weigh them for you today right now using this scale. So keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.7 ounces, the equivalent of 218 grams. So obviously they are relatively light, under the 8-ounce mark. That is not as light as what you're going to find from something like the Nike Mercurial Vapor 10, but it is, however, a little bit lighter than what you're going to get from the Adidas X15.1, as well as the Adidas Messi 15.1, which is kind of what I would compare this particular shoe to in terms of the feel of the shoe on your foot. Yes, they're light, they don't feel heavy, but at the same time, it feels like a very solid shoe. So if you're looking for something that is thin, lightweight, but at the same time feels nice and solid on your feet, the Speedform CRM is definitely going to provide that for you. All right, so here is a look at the Speedform CRMs on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock navy blue laces that come with the shoes. And on my right foot, I have a pair of pink with black dots SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. You'll find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, They fit really good from right out of the box. They're surprisingly comfortable. Like I said, this particular variation of the upper, as opposed to the standard colorways, just feels softer and more flexible out of the box than the regular ones do. Those ones require a little more break-in time, and this will soften up over time as well, but for the most part, like I said, they fit pretty well from right out of the box. As far as the shape of the shoe is concerned, it's kind of unusual in that it does have that anatomical toe to it. So similar to what Puma's doing with their Evo Speed and Evo Power lines, it's not a perfectly rounded toe. It comes to a bit of a point at the big toe and then kind of curves around like the natural shape of a foot. Something that does bother some people, but for me personally, I actually really like that element of this shoe, as well as when Puma does it on their models as well. So no issues there whatsoever, not something that really bothers me, but something to keep in mind if you are planning on picking these up. The fit in the heel is really, really good, despite it being kind of an unusual design. And as far as that one-piece kind of insole interior liner is concerned, it's really, really good in terms of how it feels. You feel, like I said, you're very much kind of planted in the shoe. It gives this sensation of stability and just a nice kind of connection to the shoe that isn't really normal in a pair of soccer shoes. So for that reason alone, they have a very, very unique and interesting type of feel to them, which if that sounds good to you, you should definitely give these a look. As far as the overall width is concerned, it is a tighter fitting shoe, but it does have some decent width to it, especially in the forefoot and toe box area. So it isn't particularly narrow like a pair of Nike Mercurial Vapor 10s would be, for example. So as long as you don't have excessively wide feet, you shouldn't have too many issues as far as width is concerned, although the upper isn't really going to stretch all that much, so keep that in mind. And as far as sizing is concerned, they run about a half size small, so instead of going for my usual size 9 US, I bumped it up to a 9.5, and the fit and length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going half a size up in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Under Armour Speedform CRM. Again, if you guys are interested in more information on this particular shoe, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself that'll give you a better idea as to how these actually do look in person, as well as buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $220 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding the Speedform CRM, leave them down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.